What's up,
I
man?
couldn't, thank you so much. I couldn't join a couple of the recon classes this week. I was busy with clients, so let me just make it up a little bit.
Good. Glad you're busy.
Thank you. I've got a few deals going on. And in fact, I had a situation yesterday. It's a very close friend of mine, buyer client at the same time. He loved this home and he keeps asking me, what price should I offer? The market is in decline,
Okay.
you know,
What'd you say?
and and I told him, I basically asked him how much they like the house, if it fits everything, and that they had few offers on the table. So it all depends on their motivation, how much they want the house. So he kept asking me, like, how much do you think I should offer? And I didn't give him a price. So it was asking price was 569. They offered 550. And we lost the house because somebody offered way above that.
Hang on one second.
Hey, Erne,
Hello. So when I have buyers like that, I always ask them, if we lost this house over $5,000, how would you feel? And then they usually come up on their price.
yeah, it's
What's the price
talking
you would
to
be willing to pay and not be disappointed if you lost it?
Yeah.
my thing is I always tell them, it's rather than what we try to get it for, what oh, I'm so sorry.
All right, guys, it's almost, let's see, I think I have 1 o'clock here. Yeah, 1 o'clock on the nose. Thank you guys for being here. My faithful. Oh my gosh. It's like my family. Thank you guys for being on mastery level today. I have a little bit more time. We can go a little bit deeper into our conversations, I think, than I have on a 30-minute recon. So if you guys have that ability, cameras would be great. Obviously, I just taught a class here in the market center because our market's changing. Agents didn't know what to do. A lot of weeping, gnashing of teeth, and kind of right up my alley. And I wish I had you guys here to talk and demonstrate your conversation prowess. So today is Friday, and I have a lot of regulars on. Let's see, I will get my list of participants up here, and I will see if I can't make you co-host, Louise, and you can help monitor all that stuff. Make co-host, there we go. That should do it. So I don't, excuse me, I lost my voice from talking all morning. All right, so let's get started. It is Friday. And do we have any hands up, Louise, yet? I don't see them. I've got Louise up. I'm sure she wants to do an expired. Tanner did really well today. So let's start. Let's start with you, Louise, our hostess, and let's lead off with you. Mastery role play. What are we doing?
Let's revisit the expired.
Okay. Now, did you understand the feedback I gave you earlier this morning?
I did. Yes, okay. I liked it.
All right, let's go. You'll call me. Ring, ring. Hello.
Let me go off of camera.
Okay.
Hi, this is Louise with Keller Williams Realty. I'm calling for the owner of 555 Parking Lot Drive. Is this you?
Where do you come up with these random names? This is.
You actually win something for coming up with that. We've been doing this to John all week, and he gives us these expressions, but he doesn't call it out. So you're the winner, chicken dinner.
Well, yes, this is the owner. I'm Dave Drivesdale. They call me Driveway.
Great. Again, I'm Louise, and nice to meet you, Driveway. I'm calling for two reasons. One is to see if you're aware that your home is expired, and two is to ask, what are your plans? So,
Yes, I am aware, because I've had 45 calls and our plans, we're not really sure. We're a little bit, we're disappointed. Our home didn't sell, so we're kind of rethinking our plans.
well, I'm curious, Driveway, if it had sold, where were you moving to?
Well, we're gonna stay in town. We were just gonna get a smaller house.
Stay in town. Oh, a smaller house to down. Were you planning to downsize?
All right, I'm gonna stop for a moment. I have no timer going on here. Let's just talk in terms of this. Is that rhetorical? I mean, redundant? No, let's talk about this. Then I want to know
It
where
is
you're going.
redundant. It is redundant. And I'm thinking the question I should have asked is, well, if someone were at your door with a cash offer that was acceptable to you, would you still be interested in selling your house?
Yes, I think you need to go there.
So
So-
let me ask you that. I asked you that question. What is your response?
Well, I guess we have to get over the disappointment and shock. Our home did not sell. We had no anticipation of that being a possibility. Therefore, we probably need a week or two to regroup, and then we'll probably. Oh, there's no way we parted friends with the other agent. No harm, no foul. So, I think we'll have a better understanding in a week or two.
Okay. So Danny, not Danny, I'm sorry. Denny,
Driveway.
Driveway. It's the people are coming in and my mind is getting distracted and I'm clicking all of these crazy buttons.
That's
But
right. I'll work the buttons. You work your brain.
thank you. Okay. So Driveway, if I could show you a way that you could downsize and not repeat the experience you had with a guarantee, would that be of interest to you?
Well, I think it'd be on our list, but probably we just need a week or two to lick our wounds, I think.
Okay, so let's get on the calendar now for that. Next Friday, would next Friday at 4 be good for you?
Yeah, you can pencil me in.
Okay, great. And I'll call you Thursday afternoon to confirm that.
Okay.
That was kind of you. I got the appointment.
All right. So what might you do?
I would like to introduce urgency to get you open to meeting sooner versus in a week or two.
Well, okay. So a couple of different things, gang. Let's just talk about this a little bit. Who would be happy with the appointment? And just take what you got. You got the appointment. A lot can happen in a week. Or who would press harder? Anybody here want to press harder? Because again, you might win, or you might push me away. So was that Lou?
Yeah, you can't lose anything you never had.
All right.
So
So pick up from that point in the call, like rather than closing for an appointment next Friday. Yeah, we just need a week or so to lick our wounds.
gotcha. Other than a week or so to lick your wounds, what else needs to happen between now and then for you to feel comfortable selling?
Well, it's just like, it's just kind of like, it's a shock right now. And we're just going to reevaluate. We might think this is God's will. And I'm not being sacrilegious, guys. I mean, people think that. So it could be like, I'm a man of faith, and we're just going to have to.
Yeah,
We're just like shock.
right. Other than the fact that the home didn't sell, what are you shocked about?
Well, that could be a redundant question. That's what we never even considered the possibility that the market would be going south right when we're attempting to
Okay.
go.
Yeah, and forgive me, Denny, I missed that. So
That's okay.
jump
That's
back in.
okay.
Right, you're shocked at the market transition. So let me go back a step though, because I must have missed something at the beginning. What even had you considering selling this home in the first place?
Yeah, we're going to stay in town. We're downsizing. Yeah, we did cover that. So that we're downsizing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Other than downsizing, how would selling the home help you?
Oh, we just got more space we need, and we don't need all the maintenance and headaches.
Okay, so less maintenance, less headaches, downsize. And when did you want to downsize? What's the latest date that you'd want to get this home sold?
Okay, just stepping out of role just for a second. Fair question, I imagine, but I'm really playing a guy that, I don't know that I'd have the answer, so I'll just play like I don't really know. It's just like you're calling me when my puppy died. I just feel like I'm in shock.
Sure, understood. So in that situation, in stepping out of the role play, in that situation, I'm digging deeper to find out if he's suspect or prospect. And I hear what you're saying. So that really so to go back to the original, would anybody push harder? I would push harder, but it sounds like the only objection here is you need time to think. I guess I would ask, here's what I would ask, and jumping back in, I would ask you, have you already committed to an agent that you know and trust when you're ready to sell again?
Well, again, good question. No, we've had a lot of calls. I haven't scheduled any appointments. You're really the first one that's kind of pressed me on it. I kind of like your style. So, so if you're available on Friday, we can make an appointment on Friday.
I'd be more than happy to. This may be odd to you. I get asked to call people back a lot. Would you genuinely like me to call you back and meet with you on Friday? Or is this just a really polite way of saying, hey, Matthew, please never call me again?
Now I'm stepping out just for everyone to hear that. What do y'all think about that? I kind of like that. What's y'all's comments on that?
I want to know if you're suspect or prospect. Because go ahead.
No, I got it. And I'm being nice. I don't tell John, I'm being nice. And I'm willing to give you an appointment, first one I've been able. And so I think that's a pretty good question. Ask it again in case they weren't listening.
Denny, believe it or not, I get asked to call a lot of people back. Would you genuinely like me to give you a call back and meet with you next Friday? Or is that just a really polite way of you saying, hey, Lou, I never want to hear from you again?
I like the question, gang. I like it. It's just really, John talks about going 5 deep. It's just really, hey, look, you're trying to get rid of me. Just let me know. Or do you really want me to call? I like it. Okay,
I'm probably still going to call you, but at least this way, and I've been doing this a lot lately when, 400 calls a day, and every time they say, well, give me a call back. And then they'll say, well, yeah, no, call me back next week. Great. And in your case, I know what's happening next week, but then I'll say, great, what is significant about next week? What's important, what's happening then? But for you, I know that you're going to consider selling then. So then I would close, I'd jump back into the role play. I'd say, when we meet next week, assuming that you're decompressed and have a better feeling about what's happened, when we meet, assuming you feel that I'm the right agent to get the home sold, is there anything you can foresee that would prevent us from working together and get it back on the market? I would close with that.
Got it. I would, and you guys, if you have another close, there's 2 things that are going through my mind on what you think about it. I would say, okay, I got that, Lou. I got that. I got you on for Friday. Let me ask you, I don't know if this would happen, but if by chance I ran into somebody that's looking for a house like yours before we meet on Friday.
Would you want to know about it?
Yes.
Yep, I would ask that as well, but I would want to, yeah, absolutely. But and when we put the home back on the market, asking assumptive questions, what price would you like to sell it for this time?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't get into all that, once I went that far. But again, there's nothing wrong with that. So good. That's a good add-on. All right. Go ahead, please.
I loved everything that you did, Lou. Going back to when I ended it, my concern would be that another agent who is more aggressive would book an appointment sooner, and you would already be under contract before I revisit with you on Friday. So I would ask this question. Okay, Driveway, do I have your honor and commitment that you will not enter into an agreement with another agent before a meeting next week?
Can I ask it a different way?
Yes.
So I always ask it a little bit different. And bear in mind, I'm jumping in the middle of the role play. I would have handled. I was trying to handle it with Denny a little bit differently. So doing what I can with what I had. But in that situation, if I go in that direction, I'm going to ask him, Denny, do you, just so I'm crystal clear, do you intend on meeting with any other agents between now and next Friday? Is there any chance you're going to meet with any other agent?
And those are all, obviously, all of those questions combined, I'd be poking my eyes out with a spoon. However,
yeah, no, we're not, right. No, we're not, no. Not doing all that.
The other thing that I would do, gang, on this, depending on where it is, I would go by for a visit. And I would give them something, like, I don't know what it is, and say, hey, look, we talked on the phone. I was going by the area, and just wanted to introduce, and we're on for Friday, unless you had some, whatever. I would probably, if I had a commitment for an appointment that is a week away, Louise is right. You don't know when I'm over my puppy dying. I would go and strengthen that with a visit. Anybody raise their hand to do that?
Pre-listing package, drop it off.
Yep, absolutely. Good job. Good job, Lou. All right, Louise, who's next?
Tanner and RNA.
Oh my gosh, it's like old home week.
You want to try something new? We have Susan and Mark. Mark doesn't raise his hand much. Why don't we? And Susan is fairly new too.
If you're a first timer on here, we'll give you preference to step up and role play. This is how we get better. Now you've got the golf club in your hand and you get to hit the balls yourself instead of watching these guys hit it.
Susan, would you like to go?
Sure. So I like to handle, I'm not interested, based on a expire call. And I don't know. So maybe we can do that.
Okay. So Tanner, can you be the expired?
Yep.
Okay. On the phone, go.
Ring, ring.
Hello?
Hi, this is Susan. Thank you so much for taking my call. I was calling you about 123 Maple Street and was wondering when will you be putting that back on the market?
Susan, not at the moment. We're not interested anymore.
Oh, you're not interested. Well, may I ask you, when you did have the house on the market, what was going through your mind? People don't just wake up one morning and decide to sell a home. What was your original plans?
Yeah, we had plans, but plans have changed a little bit. Also, you see the market has changed a little bit. We feel like we're not going to do it now.
I see. It sounds like a lot has changed. A lot has changed. Well, where were you moving to?
We were moving down south.
Oh, okay, down south. And what was your original time frame?
I mean, we should have been there by now, but obviously didn't happen. So probably not anymore.
If I could make that happen for you and get you to the south, what would it do for you and your family?
Susan, can I be straightforward with you if you don't mind?
Sure.
I get 20 agents that is calling me every day repeating the same thing. What makes you think that you would do it?
Wow, it's okay. I thank you so much for being so straightforward with me. I know you're getting bombarded by a lot of phone calls and agent. At the end of the day, we all do the same thing, but I think it's ultimately the market reach and an agent who's going to be seasoned to get the property sold. So it seems to me that you're looking to sell and move down south yesterday. I would love to sit down with you just to see where you are and how I could be of assist. Would that work for you today if I meet with you between 2 to 4?
As I mentioned, right now the plans have changed, but why don't we do this? Probably you could tell me how much my house is worth right now. What do you think?
I still haven't seen your home. I basically have to go see it in order for me to give you a market comparable. So it only take like 5 minutes of your time for me to come by. I could do that. Are you available today?
Well, here's what we could do. I'm really tired of this you know, a lot of people call me, offer me a lot of stuff. Why don't you send me the value and I'll look into it, and if you know, if we like it, then you know, we'll schedule something with you.
I
But
could
so
give
far,
you a preliminary value over the email, but it's gonna be unrealistic because I basically have to see your home. Just like when you buy a car, you need to go feel and test drive the car before you buy it, right? So how's that any different than you selling this home when you have
Time.
some interest in it?
Time. Susan, all right, good job, good
I-
job.
I was being really, real difficult, and I'm, you know,
Yeah,
I
Tanner,
apologize to-
you were.
No, it's fine. We get this all the time, and I need someone to be difficult so that way I could handle difficult situations.
So let me give you some of the notes I've written down here. One thing I noticed, gang, that I thought she did really well, when he said, I'm going to move down south, I was waiting for the wrong, in my opinion, the less important question. A lot of agents would have said, oh, where are you moving? Is that really relevant? I don't think so. She asked a better question. What's your time frame? And another question is, okay, would you still like that to happen? So I just want you to recognize, if we have a limited amount of time on the phone, let's be strategic on the questions. It's easy to get conversational about criteria. It takes a little bit more effort and skill to get conversational about motivation. So Susan, that was very good.
Thank
Denny,
you.
what about it? I agree with you. Is it, I like to ask, is that still important to you? But but then also asking not where are you going, but what's significant, what's important about moving down south? What's down there?
Yeah, see, that would deal with motivation, not criteria. So that would be another motivation question.
Okay,
Also.
gotcha.
Next note I made. When you made the statement, if I could make that happen. Now, I don't know why, when I keep hearing that, and I know that there's a certain angle's the wrong word. There's a certain strategy in our conversations that we want to be assumptive. And maybe it's because I've heard it too. If I can make that happen, if I can make you two fall in love, would you go out with them? I mean, it's kind of like all that crazy stuff. I'm just wondering, because that sounds a little forward, a more sterile question, and this may be just for food for thought, rather than say, if I could make that happen, it's kind of like, if that could still take place.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're not injecting yourself into it yet. I'm waiting. For me, I'm kind of waiting to bring in the big guns. Okay, number next. You made it when you said, hey, Tanner said, I'm tired of all these agents calling, blah, blah, blah. Then Susan, you went, well, you know, all the agents are kind of the same. I probably would not have said that.
Okay.
Because now it's most people, too many sellers and buyers think we're homogeneous, and we're not. I would have said something like, well, you know, here, just want to let you to know that a lot of the newer agents, that's how they start and get their business, and they make these calls. That's why a lot of them sound the same. I, on the other hand, and I'm an experienced agent, and I have no interest in, I have more interest in getting you moved than getting your listing. So somehow don't ever throw yourself into the pile with everybody else. Then the last one was, he asked for a price. And, you know, so he kind of changed directions on you. I would ask, well, let me ask you, it's been on the market before. So what number did you have it at, Tanner?
500.
What was that, 500?
500, yeah.
And where did you start?
We started at 525 and then went down to 500, and that was it.
Okay. And did you have any offers at that 500?
We got one, but then they pulled out because the interest rates bumped up, and then they couldn't qualify, and that was it.
Well, I find that helpful. Let me ask you, it sounds like, well, let me just ask the question. Do you want a kind of a 1,000-foot view, or would you like an accurate number?
Well, obviously accurate number then.
Okay, awesome. Happy to do that. So when could I see your home? The only way we can get accurate is if I actually can see it. So when do you have 15 minutes? I would have gone for the close right there, and I would make the distinction. You want the 1,000-foot view, or you want an accurate number?
When can you meet to go over that? This is how I like, yeah. I'd be happy to get you those numbers. When can you meet to go over that?
So good. That was very good. So nice job. Nice job, Susan. Nice job. All right, who's next?
Mark Tilly.
Mark. Okay.
I've been calling some of the past expireds, maybe some that came off the market about 30 days ago, beginning of September, and just going down that line.
All right. Well, you're going to be Crocodile Dundee.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you're calling expires, and you're going to call Arne.
Okay.
Just put him on the spot here. Ring ring.
Hello.
Hi, am I speaking to Arne?
Yeah, who's this?
Arne, my name is Mark. I'm with Keller Williams, and I was just reaching out to you. I see your house came off the market earlier this month, and I wanted to see if you did put that back on the market, or if you had any plans to relist it.
Yeah, I don't have time for this now, so I gotta go.
Okay, I appreciate that. You bring that up. Real quick, when you did have it on the market, what were your plans and where were you thinking of moving to?
I mean, I don't know why it really matters. It's just not gonna happen.
I understand, and you sound disappointed it didn't happen. But if it could still happen, if you could still put it back on the market and make that move to where you were thinking of going, would that be something you'd want?
I mean, yeah, if it could happen, but wouldn't it have already happened?
Arne, unfortunately, sometimes the best homes don't always sell the first time around. And, when you say would have happened, would you still be at least interested in making that move to, if you could share with me what your plans were?
Yeah, we were looking to get into a bigger home. We need more space. Everybody's kind of just, all on top of each other, and we just don't have enough space.
I get that. That's awesome. And being able to move into a bigger size home, what would that do for you and your family?
I think we wouldn't be at each other's throats so much and so edgy.
I hear you. I hear you. So, Arne, it sounds like at some point in the future, you're most probably going to want to make that move so that you've got a little more space, more room for you and the family. If we could sit down, take a look at if that could still happen, would that be worth 15, maybe 20 minutes of your time?
I mean, I don't know. It just seems like everybody keeps saying they can make it happen, and nobody's made it happen.
I appreciate you sharing that with me, and I understand it hasn't happened yet. However, if I have the opportunity to sit down with you for 15 or 20 minutes, show you what I do differently, and how I have helped numerous people out there have been in your shoes before, be able to get their home sold and move on to their dream destination, would that be worth some 15 minutes of your time?
I mean, maybe, but I really got to get going. Can you just email me, like, how you do things differently, and I'll just see if I can set up a time with you later.
All right, fair enough. It does sound like you're very busy, and just so that I know we do touch base, could we tentatively perhaps just plan a time for us to sit down and meet, perhaps 4 p.m., 5 p.m. tomorrow, if we could put that in pencil. If your plans change, you could always reach out back to me.
5 p.m. tomorrow is open, so yeah, we
So
I just have to say one thing. I want to check that this is the property at Dodds Ending. 123
Yes.
Dodds Ending.
Yes.
I've been put on the spot to say some address. I've done it.
it's God's ending.
Dodds, like in your last name, Dodds Ending.
Oh, got it. Dot ending. Okay, so Louise, you have any comments on that?
I retract the text I just sent you while you were role playing. And I recognize those scripts. I think he used them very well. I would have thought he could hook her quicker by using, well, you've said it before, Denny, something about it, a guarantee. What if we could provide you a guarantee? Something to entice her to meet with him sooner.
Isn't that too much DNA, though, the guarantee?
You don't know what they're guaranteeing, sell it or leave it. What is it that you guarantee, Denny? You've mentioned it before.
Well, yes, I mean, I guarantee you, I mean, the bottom line is all 100% of my listings sell, Mark, and so I could give you that guarantee. You know, I mean, would that be worth 15 minutes? So,
Absolutely.
And-
So you're not putting a price on it or anything. You're just guaranteeing the house will sell.
well, every one of you guys can sell all of your listings. I mean, if you get it at the right number, right?
Yeah.
So understand, and this is kind of how I think. You know, whether it be on Chicken Finger Lane or Banana Street, it doesn't matter. We technically list the seller, not the property. Got that? We list the seller, not the property. So if you have a ornery seller, I mean, I've seen beautiful homes that belong in some sort of Architectural Digest magazine that don't sell, and I've seen ugly homes sell because they have the right seller. Here's my feedback on for you. Really, I like the fact that you're deaf, and most people get, oh, it's bad time, I'll call you back. You are totally like deaf, turned it off, kept moving forward. So that was pretty cool. One of the questions I ask is, and you're calling expires that are a month old. Some agents spend a lot of prep time looking in MLS to see if it came on the market, looking at the history. They'll spend 15, 20 minutes in all the prep before we make a call. You just see the expired and call and ask them if they've relisted, right?
I've got like Espresso or Vulcan, and there's thousands that you can call. So the minute it comes up, I just look how long it's been off the market, when it came off, what it was listed at, and a quick picture, just get an idea of the property. Because so many of them aren't going to answer that to spend all that time looking at each and every one of them would be way too time consuming.
I still call them from 5 years ago.
Yeah. Number two, you ask a couple of motivation questions. You ask about moving and what would that do? And the second question, what would that do for you? And I thought, well, it was kind of like you asked the two questions deep on motivation, on where they're going or whatever. And here's the thought I have for you guys that are making calls. If they're still on the phone with you, you haven't lost yet. However, you are one question away from them scoring and you losing. So just because you have the momentum, don't wear it out. You have to, I mean, don't take it for granted. I mean, sometimes people, unless you're dealing with a high S that's too polite to hang up on you, you may not know. So anyway, I thought you went too deep, and I thought, well, you could have probably maybe closed for the appointment. And the last thing, are you? Oh, has anyone ever used the question like, well, hey, look, if I specialize in helping people. So, Lou, I mean, you make a lot of calls. So do you, Mark? Like, are you at all curious why your home didn't sell, Mark?
Yeah, ask them all the time. In a roundabout way, what happened? Why do you feel this didn't sell? In some variation, yes.
So maybe an angle might be comfortable for some of you, because there's more than one way to skin a cat. Is that okay? Well, let me ask you. I know you're not ready. You just said you're not ready to list it, but would you at least like to have kind of an opinion of why it didn't? Maybe kind of a post-mortem on the transaction, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, just my thought.
This is one thing I've heard is when you focus on why it didn't sell, you're bringing up all the negative, all the animosity, like the pricing, the real estate agent, and all that stuff. Whereas you focus more on the motivation, you're sort of taking them more to their happy place where they want to be. So they're more engaging. It's more of a positive conversation because you're talking motivation and what they want, versus focusing on the realtor was bad, the pricing was bad, the marketing was bad. I don't know.
The only pushback I would give to that is, yes, focus on the motivation. If it's a reciprocal conversation, but if the conversation you were having from where I sat, it was more of a, let me get off this phone. So in that conversation, I might be more inclined to say, hey, I get it. You're not interested in selling at all, but why on God's green earth do you think it didn't sell? Just before you go. Because then that might be the trigger, because they're getting 50 calls from other agents. That might be the trigger to say, well, you know what? It didn't sell because my agent sucked. Really? Tell me about it. What happened? They open up.
Give them a chance to vent, I guess, about something they want to vent about.
Yeah. Whenever they're trying to get off the phone with me, you got a pattern interrupting, you only have one question. So, hey, I get it, Mark, you have zero interest in selling. The last thing you want to do is talk to a realtor, but why on God's green earth did it not sell? I'm just curious.
Appreciate it. It's a good angle to take.
Good conversation. Okay, we've got some hands up. Who's next, Louise? Let's get off expireds. Let's get some buyers and sellers now.
We have Kevin and Tanner.
Yes, and Arne, both had their hands up, didn't get to really be an agent yet. So, Kevin, what do you want, buyer or seller?
I will be the buyer.
Okay.
I
All right.
want to be the selling agent. When we get the listing, does that make
Okay,
sense?
well, we'll save our name for the buyer, and then you are a seller. And Tanner, you may give Kevin, nice to have you come in role play, Kevin.
Thank you, Denny.
You are at the table, and the objection is going to be, I'm not sure it's a good time to sell.
And who am I speaking with? Louise?
Tanner.
Tanner?
Yeah.
Hello, Tanner.
Yeah, I'm not sure now is the right time to sell.
I understand that. Other than that, is there any other reason why you wouldn't want to sell the property?
Not really, but looking at the interest rates and everything going on, we just think like, we're not gonna get a good number for the home.
Other than the time and the interest rates, are there any other reasons that you might want to stop from selling the house?
No,
Are there other reasons why you wouldn't want to sell other than the interest rates and the timing?
no, but I presume you would agree it's pretty important, no?
I don't know. Are you a buyer or sell? I mean, are you do you
I'm a
own
seller.
or do you rent your house now?
What? What'd you ask him?
Are you
He's selling, so he owns the house, right?
sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so
I had that in my
Oh,
notes. So I just went down those. Okay, so you own your house. Okay, good. So tell me a little bit more about that. Why do you think it's a bad time to sell? Just because of interest rates?
Yes.
hang on. Did he say interest rates? Here, let me help you, Kevin. You just,
Yeah.
let me go. Tanner.
Yeah.
You,
No, I mentioned the interest rate.
all right, so what are you gonna do when you sell?
Well, we're gonna, downsize.
So you're gonna buy another home?
Yes.
All right, so the next question, Kevin, is what? Do you have to sell in order to buy?
Tanner, you have to sell it before you can buy your next house. This is you need
Yes,
practice.
it is,
This-
Kevin, it is. I mean, that's why I'm so proud of you. I'm helping you out. I
Thank
think
you.
this is the first time you've done it. So,
Tanner,
Yes,
do you need to sell your house before you buy
Yeah.
it?
I
now
need
go
to,
to
yes.
motivation, Kevin. You said downsizing, right?
He wants to downsize his.
All right, so we're out of role play. Let's talk a little bit. What do you know about his motivation? He wants to downsize. What else do you know?
I don't know anything else other than that.
Okay, so timing. When would you like to make this move? Ideally, Tanner.
Well, I'm hoping to get it done as soon as possible. Kids are out of the house. Basically, this is too big for us, so we need to downsize. It's too big, too big.
Okay, so now, Kevin, what do you know about his concern about interest rates? You know that's his concern.
Mhm.
What is his concern about interest rates? Ask some questions along that.
Okay, Tanner, about the interest rates, what exactly is it about the interest rates that concern you?
Well, first of all, that there's not going to be people to pay the high price for our home, and also when I don't know, like if we're going to be able to afford the next one and how much that's going to cost. So I just feel like the whole process is costly right now at this point with the interest rates.
What would be an interest rate that you'd be happy with?
When I purchased, probably around, I don't know, 4%, 5%.
So if you could buy a home at 4 or 5%, would you think about selling this home first and then buying your other home?
Yes.
Okay. So we might be able to work that out 4 or 5%.
Well, wait a minute. If you can do that, I've got a bridge for you. Okay, now wait, how are you going to do that? How are you going to do that?
Well, we don't know whether we can do it, but we can also buy down the interest rate. We don't know where the interest rate's going to be tomorrow. Some things.
All right. Well, you see, the thing is, though, you're leaving me with the impression that you could do it. Now, a buy down is not exactly the same he might have in mind. So, all right, you've taken him to that point. Good. So I'm going to go. I'm going to go to Lou. You got your hand up still, and Kevin's going to hand you the ball from that point. Let's see if you can get him from rate to numbers.
Thank you, Denny.
Yeah. No, thank you, Kevin. Good job. Did you hear me okay, Lou?
Oh, no, I'm so sorry. I was responding to Susan. So I'm taking him from what to what?
Picking up Tanner. He's concerned about rate. He's a seller. He wants to buy. He has to sell first. I want you to get that the formula is now we got to get rate to numbers.
Okay.
So he said he probably can't get his price, and he's not sure if he can afford something with the higher interest rates.
Got it. Okay, I'm on it. So Tanner, have you spoken to a lender to find out exactly what this looks like?
No, not recently.
Well, understanding the huge financial decision this is, do you think that it might benefit you to put those pieces of the puzzle together first?
Well, just think of it like logically, though. My current interest rate in the house is 3.8, just shy of 4. And the current interest rates are like 7.5. I don't know. So it's kind of like double of the half.
What do you owe on your current home?
About 200,000.
Right. And roughly what's it worth? I mean, let's throw a pie in the sky.
Probably around 450.
So you got about $200,000 worth of equity approximately, right?
Yeah.
Right. You're not paying cash for the next property, right?
Ask the question without a tie down.
Are you paying cash for the next property?
Hoping not to.
Right. So we're buying a payment. We're buying a payment, right? So as long as it fits within this box, then you'd be able to do it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, do it instead of the statement. Stay in the question mode.
Okay. Gotcha. So are you buying? What's most important to you? Is it the interest rate or what your payment is every month?
Obviously, the payment.
Right. So if you found out with the equity in your home, if you found out with the equity that's in your home and what rates are right now, we could get a payment that you'd be happy with. Would you
say, I'm just, again, we're mastery here. I don't think anyone's ever happy with their payment.
Sure. So what would you propose?
Well, I would say maybe afford or are willing to invest.
Yeah. So if you found out with the equity that you currently have in your home and what the rates are today, if those two things would equal a payment that you'd be acceptable with or agreeable to pay, then would you be open-minded to at least sitting down and having a conversation about what buying and selling in today's market looks like?
Just say yes. Hang on, Tanner. Just say yes. I want somebody to take over from there that has a financial calculator and can walk him through the numbers.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. If that's what you're asking me, Denny, sorry.
I wasn't. No, I really didn't say that. You got him into the number conversation. I wanted you to get off rate into numbers. Mm-hmm. Now, what I'm teaching, I did the class I just taught here in the market center. I want you guys to learn how to walk someone through the number conversation, without having to involve and get somebody else involved like a lender. Anybody have the ability, have the calculator to do that? If not, I can take a couple minutes to do it.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I've got a mortgage calculator.
Yeah, but I got it. So let's see who else wants to play. Anybody else want to do?
One open.
I'm sorry.
I have one open.
Well, all right, so here, what are the steps, you guys? Now,
Well-
realistically, I don't know if he's got. Yeah, so if he's gonna sell his house for $450,000, and we know what his equity situation is. He's obviously not gonna be paying cash for a house at 200 grand. So we know he's gonna have to have another house. So so you're working, it's a buyer now. So
Mhm.
So I want you, Arne, to do your buyer jiu-jitsu on him. Get him into the conversation of affordability and numbers, because it's a classic buyer. He doesn't know what the numbers are, where he's going, and everyone starts at zero. So educate him.
Okay. Have you already said what price you're purchasing at?
Nope, no one's taking him down that road yet.
Okay, all right. So do you know what price range you want to be purchasing in?
There's a better way of doing that. Most people, they might know that. I would start this way. And again, it's not wrong,
Okay.
it's different. Tanner, have you been looking, have you been looking around and what areas and so forth you would be comfortable with when this home is sold?
Yes, Danny, but there's an area that I'm really interested. So, I've looked. There's not too many homes, but there's like a few that I really like that fits our need.
Okay, and what price range are those in?
About 500.
500? All right, so isn't that, see, normally, most likely, if someone's thinking about buying, they've already shopped around a little bit, they have their eyeballs on something, they may not know exactly what they could qualify for, but we know what they're looking at. So Arne, they're in the $500,000 range.
Okay, all right, great. So with that information, would a payment of $2,000 a month be acceptable to you?
Oh yeah, my current payment is 26.
Well, I'm
Fantastic.
full of crap right now, like knock me over with a feather or a chicken wing or something. How did you come up with that?
Yeah, what would you like your payment to be?
How did I come up with that
2,000.
number?
Yeah.
I put in the purchase price, the interest rate, and used his equity as a down payment.
So you use 300,000?
200.
Well, he's got 200.
Oh yeah. So 300,000. Yeah.
Okay, so all right, so this is not rocket science, guys. Everyone you can do this. You have to throw 300,000. Let's see if we can do it with the a little more of a tease. So that's present value. I'm going to use 7 GI 30 GN payment. It's $2,000, so it's $1,999. Sorry, so let me ask, what are you paying right now, Tanner?
At 2,600 we're paying.
Now,
When I
what would
purchased
be, here's how I want you to think about doing this. Here's where I don't mean showmanship to be ingenuine, but there's you can add a little drama. Well, if you could go downsize and go into a home and be that, would you be willing to invest a little bit more?
Probably, Danny. The house is old, and we definitely need to downsize. Those houses are newer, they have exactly what we need.
I got it, but
Little
would
bit,
you
yeah.
be willing to invest more than your 26?
A little bit, but not too much. Yes.
Now look, I already know it's $2,000. I purposely took him the other direction. Because now, all right, so now I've got him leaning towards, yeah, I'm willing to pay more. Well, what would you say if you could have that and your monthly investment would be less? Now you see how you can actually have that, you create it to have a bigger impact. Anybody tracking with me on this, or am I just whistling Dixie?
Yep.
So
No,
what if you
no,
could
it
have
totally makes sense.
what if you could have the house and the downsize and your monthly investment would be less? Would that excite you to move forward?
That would be awesome, but I'm not sure if that's possible.
You see, I want you guys to get him to that. If you just give him the information, you haven't used it to make him commit yet.
Yeah. Yep.
So
I like to ask it in a way of, in your worst nightmare, what would be the highest mortgage you'd want to pay when you buy? and get that number. And so just so I'm crystal clear, if he says $3,000, just so I'm crystal clear, if your mortgage is $3,000, that's the most you'd want to pay for the perfect property, your dream home. Well, no, I'd pay a little bit more. And then say, and if we could have it be less than that, would that be something that you would want to do sooner or later?
Yeah, would that seal the deal?
Yeah. Would you want to act on it now, or would you want to wait?
Yeah, good job. All right. Yeah, Louise, we have time for one more in our drawing. You got to be present to win. Put your hand up. You're in the drawing.
Okay. Our
All
name,
people
would you
that they don't have their
like
hand up, make them
to-
play.
and Sandra, would you like to participate? Nope. What about?
Denny, I'd like to do actually what do you call a FISBO call, if that's okay.
All right, who wants to be the unassisted seller?
I'll be your FISBO.
All right, go ahead, Mark. Go ahead, call Mark.
Call him out. Okay. Ring ring.
Hello?
Hi, good afternoon. I was hoping to speak with the owner and seller of the home here in 123 Main Street. Is that you?
Yes.
Great. My name is Tanner. I'm a local real estate agent and decided to give you a quick call to check, how was the selling experience working for you so far?
Well, we only put it on the market today, so I can't really expect much feedback yet, can I?
Not sure, Mark. I mean, you're doing it on your own, so you would know better. And I, totally get that. Now, Mark, I'm just
You mentioned
curious.
you're a realtor, so for one day. Are you calling me because you have a buyer?
So
Quick,
Tanner.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't do a lot of those calls. I feel like, are you working with a script?
Kind of in a pattern, yeah.
But you don't have anything in front of you, right?
No, not really.
Can I, can I,
Nice,
can I keep the intro a little bit? Maybe you guys can take me on that on the FISBO. So can I try on someone, let's say Mark? For FISBO, like ring ring?
Hello?
Yeah, well,
I-
hang on. Yeah, hang on one second, Susan. I just want to say you were coming off like you were not confident or comfortable with it because you didn't have anything in front of you. And
Yeah,
if you're going to be successful on these outbound calls, particularly when you have that much competition, you had better sound like Taylor Swift.
especially with a for sale by owner, because they're getting calls from agents that and I'm not egotistical, like me, that know what they're saying. So if you come in and you're stuttering and stammering and you're not sure, I'm hanging up. And I've been hung up on.
Yes. So anyway, what I'm saying, Tanner, if you have a conversation that you've practiced and you have in front of you, do it. But I don't want you practicing winging it because it doesn't do you any good. You won't win winging it. Susan, go ahead.
So, ring ring.
Yes, hello?
Hi, I'm calling about 123 Maple Street. Is that still available for sale?
I mean, it only went on the market today, so yes, it is.
Oh, great, great. And when will you be showing it?
Well, are you interested in buying it?
Yes, in fact, actually, I'm a local real estate professional. My name is Susan. I work with many buyers in the area, and I just want to see when can we preview the property.
I mean, there's a reason that I put it for sale by owner. I intend to sell it myself. So, I mean, if you're bringing a buyer, you can preview it. Otherwise, there's no need for this call.
Understand, and that's exactly why I want to see this. And you're willing to cooperate with agent, is that right?
I mean, if you bring me a buyer, we can discuss that. Right now, it is on Zillow, so I know I should be getting a lot of calls. So, I mean, I'm not going to really have to deal with an agent for a while, I don't think.
Okay, well, before you decide that you're going to deal with an agent much later, what's the time frame in selling the property on your own before you work with an agent like myself?
I mean, as I said, it's new on the market. And look, if nothing's happening in a month or two, we'll reach out back to you. I've got your phone number here, so thanks. But right now, no agents.
Oh, absolutely. I definitely want to come and preview it. Are you free this afternoon between 2 to 4?
We're putting our first open house on this Saturday, so you're welcome to pop over and take a look then.
Okay, and what is the time frame of the open house?
We 1 till 4.
Okay, and you will be there to host the open house?
Yes, I will be.
Okay, and do you want any open house signs or directional signs that I could assist you with?
Wow, that's a pretty nice offer. I mean, I think we almost probably put our own signs up, but thank you for the offer.
Okay, and yeah, I take it you have all that.
Yeah, we
Okay,
can.
I'll
We bought
see
some at
you.
Lowe's and they look pretty good.
Okay, all right, I will see you there. And you have enough signs for every street corner out there?
You're sounding very helpful. I mean, if you want to drop some signs off, I'd be interested to look.
Okay, when do you want me to drop the signs by?
All right, we can call it, that's good.
I think
So,
she was on a good road there, and she really got my interest. She came from great value, and the for sale buyer was probably still wouldn't give you that gap, but I think she deserves it.
Yeah.
Moving time on.
Good job.
So again, do you mind if I interject really quick on that FSBO role play, Denny?
sure.
So what Mark is saying is, I just listed it, leave me alone unless you have a buyer. So the way I do all FSBO calls, I was thinking what I'm trying to say. FSBO calls the same way. I'm looking for the owner of Main Street. Okay, and then he says, yeah. Is it still available? Yes, I just listed today. Gotcha. Well, I just really wanted to find out if you were open-minded to working with agents. Vague, very vague. Were you open-minded to working with agents? And Mark, go ahead. Mark, were you
right now? Most probably no. I mean, we've just listed it, and we're for sale by owner, so we're not looking to use agents yet.
Gotcha. If I didn't have a license, I'd probably do the same thing. How long have you given yourself to sell the home on your own before you would ever entertain hiring an agent to help you?
So let me just stop because we're gonna have to run out of time here soon. Let me ask, so you don't, I'm gonna ask, obviously you sound pretty accomplished and practice at it. So I'm questioning, I'm really curious. So you're not going in you're going in for the kill of the listing. You're not going to baby step it. Hey, if I have a buyer.
Absolutely not. It's disingenuous. I coach everybody that I talk to, and forgive me, Denny, I'm passionate about this, if you can tell. Do not delude them into thinking you're bringing them a buyer, because you're conditioning them to think that's what agents are doing is working for them, and you're not. And don't condition them to think, I just want to get my foot in the door. Don't be you can be the friendly agent and add value, but when I'm calling, how's the market treating you? Were you open-minded to working with agents? He said, no, not right now. But you even saw the look on his face when I said, great. How long have you given yourself to sell this on your own before you would ever entertain or consider hiring an agent to help you? Because then they're going to say, but then he's going to say a couple months or never, and then from there, once he says, oh, a couple months, gotcha. And then you go into a normal pre-qual. The walls are lowered because you've already asked the question.
Yeah, the elephant's already been dealt with in the room.
Yeah, then you just go into where are you going?
Yeah, if he's still talking to you after that, then you can probably have, and if they're still talking, and if you get an appointment, it probably would be a legitimate appointment.
Yeah, and that's my point. I've never, ever since I changed my script from the discovery of a FSBO type dialogue, since I've changed it to that direct ask, no, how long have you given yourself? Since I've done that, I've never had a FSBO not engage with me.
Yeah, so like dating, you don't send flowers before the date, you send them after the date, right?
That's right.
All right, Louise, how are we looking on our drawing today?
We're looking pretty good. Didn't take notes, but let me do
How many do we have on our list?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 people on the list.
All right, so I am going to go to Dorothy. Dorothy, unmute yourself for a second.
Okay.
What month were you born?
September.
September?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. Sandra, what month were you born?
July.
7. Who's number 7?
That would be the last one. Who was the last person to speak?
Was that Lou?
No, don't give it to me.
It was, who role played last? It was Susan and Mark.
Yeah.
So
Jenny, are you doing the group role play? I mean, the group coaching?
well, they can be at 2 because they can role play together then.
Yeah. Do you,
So,
do you
and
want to
Susan
use
and
the
Mark.
people that spoke?
Oh, Lou, thanks, man. I appreciate that. They do. So my email is coachdannygrimes@gmail. Just email me. We'll set up a time for you guys to have some one-on-one coaching, 30-minute call, and we can polish your scripts and conversations. Thank you for being on. Invite your friends. This was really good. Lou, you added a lot. Obviously, I appreciate the way you practice that. And your outbound calls are pretty much they're better than mine because my whole career was based at the table, not on the phone. So thanks for being on. And Louise, thanks for that, and have an awesome weekend. Love you, mean it. Knuckle bump.
Lou, if I may quickly ask,
Thank you.
Yeah. Go.
Go ahead.
do you put your own scripts together, or is there a particular coach or someone that you sort of follow?
So the long story short, actually, Denny might know me as Matthew Sharp. I've been on here 1,000 times, but I put it as Lou to hide myself from somebody in another meeting. But the short of it is, my ex-father-in-law has been in real estate we've been in real estate for 70 years combined. He has a big team in Manatee and Sarasota County. So over the years, we've compiled a lot of scripts from the fairies of the world and Chad Goldstein, Denny, what was Chad Goldstein from back in the day, or I don't know, 100 years ago, stuff from him. And then really the way that my ex-father-in-law conditioned me is it's not about memorizing these scripts. It's about internalizing the questions. It's like bullets on a belt. You're in the wild, wild west. You got a belt full of bullets. It's knowing which bullet to fire when. So over the past almost 20.
I don't think the cone will fit the beagles, right?
What's that?
Oh, Louise, you're still a hot mic.
Sorry. I don't think the cone.
Go ahead.
So anyway, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's just about knowing which questions to ask when at the right time. But yes, it started with scripts and then just worked to internalizing them and making them personal for me. You know, you got to ask questions how you would ask them. So I know that's a long answer, but yeah, it started out as well-formatted scripts, but worked its way down to where if you give me an objection now, I already have 10,000 questions I can ask you up here. That's why when Denny was saying, no, ask the question, it didn't take me 10 minutes to formulate it. I know how to pattern questions. I do really, really well at patterning questions in my mind.
Yeah, I call it. Yeah, so I didn't, Matt, you say I would know the name Matt Sharp, you know, so I actually see more first names on that. So that's typically how you show up on the call, right?
Yeah, Matthew Sharp.
Got it. Well, thanks for playing today. You added a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Where do you service, Matthew? What area do you service?
Thank you, Sarah.
So 8 counties in the Tampa Bay area, all the way from Zephyr Hills, so Pasco County, all the way down to where Denny is. So I stop at Punta Gorda. That's my floor. And Michael Burke is actually who connected me with Denny years ago. Sandra, who came down and was a team leader, the blonde team leader, that she came down from my office to your office. Anyhow, Michael Burke connected us when COVID hit, and that's how I started coming to these.
Wait, were you a guest? Were you a guest on one of my calls one time?
I did a class, I believe, for your market center when COVID hit for this. So I did like a Zoom. I don't know if I was a guest on one of your calls, but I actually coached your market center on how to have conversations in COVID.
Well, you guys, we had celebrity role play today. That was awesome.
No, I'm complacent in getting on here. It's on my calendar every single week. And I intend to do it every week.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Matt.
guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thanks,
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Louise, and thank you, Denny.